the 30th of November 2021, 22-year-old Dylan Castamore was arrested and charged in the abuse and murder of his 8-week-old infant son, Daxton Castamore. The incident occurred at around 11:46 a.m. on the 27th of November at an apartment located in the 3400 block of North 4th Avenue in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Dylan contacted 911 and told the dispatcher that his baby son had been coughing up blood and was now unconscious and not breathing. Deputies were dispatched to the premises, and when they arrived, they found an unresponsive baby and rushed him immediately to a local hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Officers found droplets and smears of blood on the floors, walls, and ceiling throughout Dylan's apartment, as well as a footprint in the red smudge on the carpet. The authorities say that the infant was likely assaulted, and that Dylan was the only one with him when Daxton sustained the injuries. It's reported that Dylan and Daxton's mother shared legal custody of their child. Officers interviewed Dylan at the hospital. He told police that Daxton was crying, so he made a bottle. He explained that as he tried to feed him, his eyes started to gaze, blood came out of his nostril, and his arms went limp, and he stopped breathing. Investigators obtained security and audio footage from outside the apartment just prior to Dylan making the 911 call. It's revealed that around 11:20 a.m. that the baby could be heard crying, followed by several loud thuds. Slapping, hitting, and thud sounds continued for over 20 minutes, until a man could be heard saying "wake up," followed by a cry, and then another thud. On the 29th of November, Dylan paid tribute to his son on his Facebook page, saying that he will never forget the times that he and Daxton had together, and how Daxton always cried when he wanted Dylan to hold him, and that his daddy loves him. Later that afternoon, an autopsy was completed and determined the baby died from skull fractures, broken ribs, and a laceration on his liver, and his death was ruled a homicide. At around 11:30 on the 30th of November, Dylan was tracked down at a relative's home in northeast Sioux Falls. He was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and first-degree manslaughter. He's been held on a $1 million bond. If convicted, he faces life in prison. 50-year-old Keith Bird has been arrested and charged with murder after fatally beating his friend with a tree branch. The incident occurred at around 8:30 p.m. on the 29th of October, when the authorities responded to a report of two men fighting in an alley located near Vassar Drive, just south of Central Avenue in Albuquerque, New Mexico. When they arrived, they found a man dead. A witness told police he had seen the two men arguing over a backpack, and then one man beating the other with a tree branch. He said he yelled for the offender to stop and saw him run off, carrying a large backpack with him. Shortly thereafter, Keith contacted 911 to say he was behind a nearby Walgreens and that he had beaten his friend with a stick and wanted to speak with police. He said he was unsure whether his friend needed medical assistance. Keith was taken into custody and he was interviewed. Keith said that evening he went to Walgreens and purchased alcohol. He said he took 2 shots of alcohol and then went to a bus stop across the street. That's where he encountered his friend Ellie. He said Ellie was in a bad mood and began to pick a fight with him. Keith said Ellie pushed him and Ellie fell on top of him, causing Keith to strike his back on the curb. Keith said this angered him, so told Ellie to go to the lane behind Panera Bread restaurant so they both could fight. Keith told detectives he put Ellie into a chokehold and Ellie tried to punch him, so he released him and grabbed a stick to beat Ellie in the face. He said he hit him about 10 times and stopped when he saw people in the alley. After Keith explained his side of the story, the detective told Keith that Ellie was dead, in which he replied that Ellie shouldn't have made him mad. Keith is held at the Metropolitan Detention Center and is charged with murder. The victim's full name has not yet been identified.